Cash Nation, I just watched Lisa Frankenstein. I gotta be honest. It was definitely a killer time in the movies.
Really hope this goth phase ends soon.
Cash Nation, welcome back to your interview. We have Lisa Frankenstein. Now, let me be honest. This is probably the only film I liked to watch in February. It was the film I was looking for the most forward to come around. And I'll start with this. If you have dark humor at all, if you like dark jokes, the thought of people getting hurt or whatever, not in, real term real, but if you just have dark humor in general, this film's for you, okay? You're someone who hates to see blood, guts, and gore, and someone getting hurt, someone being killed off screen, whatever. This is not for you. You hate to see blood in general, don't watch this film. Seriously, don't watch this. Now, I feel like a lot of people are gonna ask me up front, is this a very, very violent film? It's a violent film, but doesn't show you what's happening. You just see reactions, if you will. Okay. Now, to give context, it's on the trailer, by the way, so I'm not spoiling. I'd say this much. For example, right, you see Lisa, or basically Cole Sprouse's character, using the axe, and you see the blood coming off of what's going on. Okay, that's what you're gonna get. You're not gonna see someone getting beheaded. You're not gonna really see much of gore coming off unless it's the blood coming on the character's face and stuff, okay? The first part of this movie to me was a little bit rocky. It was like, not really feel this film, unfortunately. But I will say that the bit that Cole Sprouse comes to this film, it gets so much better. Like it's kind of crazy because it's like the act one, it feels like the rough draft, right? It's like, hey, this girl is going through a traumatic time in her life. They touch on a little bit, but it's not really fully explored, unfortunately, not fully fleshed out. But she's just very introverted, very socially awkward, She'll walk into a room, say hey, kind of slurring her words, not really trying to make conversation with anybody, right? But then for some reason, once Cole Sprouse comes into the film, it's like the person that was once there comes back. Instantly, she's talking again. She's just being outgoing. But I'll be honest, these two on screen were the best parts for me, no question. I mean, this film, it's Lisa Frankenstein for a reason, but like any other characters except for the stepsister, I didn't care for too much. I was like, you can go to the side. I don't care for y'all. Give me the two main leads. Captain Newton is awesome. After that, you got the first act, specifically the first act. Okay, you can ignore the first act a little bit. You get to where she's with Cole Sprouse. She shy. She's on full throttle, full cylinders. I loved it because it's not really about basketball performance, but it's like you don't know what this person's gonna do next. She's so unpredictable. She reacts so weirdly. I love how her and her stepsister are so different. People hate her and she knows and she loves it. But her stepsister is the one that wants to be loved and people love her the most. Cole Sprouse, I mean, doesn't have much to do because of what his character is. He's literally come back from the dead, if you will, okay? It ain't like I was expecting him to show up and be able to give me a full thing of sentences of like, hey Lisa, how you doing? What's going on? That's fine with me. Him groaning and doing the best he could, I enjoyed that part of the film because if he would have showed up to be able to talk, I'd be like, wait, what are we doing here? His stepmother to me, I didn't care for. I was happy with how, she was taken care of in the film, so to speak. The father was just nothing to do, unfortunately. And the rest of the characters are just meaningless, unfortunately. Okay. This is a first time director by Zelda Williams, the daughter of Robin Williams, by the way. The soundtrack in this film is quite decent, and the dialogue, the writing for this film is absolutely hilarious. Like the thing that people say to Lisa this film, you're gonna be floored by. Because when these two are in their element, when they're doing what the film wants you to do, what you want the film to do itself, and you know what I'm talking about, brother, I had a blast, especially with the third act, with one in particular scene. And I'll say is the bedroom scene. You know what I'm talking about? Comment below what you thought about that. Oh my god, I was on the floor laughing my butt off because basically, without going into context, something happens with Lisa. She goes to this house and bam, something happens. And then Cole Sprouse comes involved and literally Gabby's like, what's she doing? I'm like, oh, I think we know what she's about to do. And she's like, she's not about to do that, is she? I'm like, yep, she is. And guess what? Would you know it's so messed up. And I absolutely loved it. Okay. I enjoyed it quite a bit because it's like There's hint and details about the story. Now, the only con I have is this. Every other subplot, every other plot that's introduced in this film doesn't matter. Especially with what traumatized Lisa in the very beginning. It's touched on a little bit lightly, but it's never fully fleshed out. You don't really find out much about that. Any other characters that have their own subplot going on doesn't matter. There's a major thing that happens in this film where it's just kind of ignored, unfortunately. It's just like, so that happens. We're not going to talk about really. And then there's a reaction of it, of course, as people reacted to what happened. And we're just not going to talk about it ever again. The film ends, unfortunately. Okay. I honestly would say this much right now. If you love Cole Sprouse, if you love Captain Newton, if you love, like I said, dark humor, offbeat stuff kind of movies, you will love this film. If you watch Edward Scissorhands, you will love this film. Okay. If you're someone, again, who doesn't like violence much, who doesn't care for gore or blood, you will not like this film. Period. Okay. There's a lot of it in it. It's a good bit in there, but it's not the whole entire movie. Okay. But I will say this right now, despite the unfortunate subplots and the main plot not really being touched upon too much, just focusing on Lisa and Frankenstein, I enjoyed this film so much. I would watch it again in a heartbeat. If Copycats want to watch this film again, I would be totally down to watch it with him. Anyone else, by all means, send a message saying, "Hey, I want to watch this." I got you. Okay. So I'm going to give Lisa Frankenstein again a 7 out of 10. I want to give a lower score, but to me, I can't give it a 9 or a 10 because again, it didn't touch on subplots. But to me, I'm not gonna take the score down because of that thing because you could just tell off of the whole movie, it's not gonna touch anything else beside the two main leads. And so when you really focus on that aspect of it, you don't really care for the subplots, which again, I'm not excusing that. That's dumb, that's stupid, that should be a thing. If you introduce a subplot, if we don't take care of the main plot, it's kind of a big issue with the film. I understand that, okay? But again, I love this film. I absolutely loved it. And like I love what it leads it to. And I'm not like I said, I'm not gonna go into detail, but the aspect of what you came to see this film for, what you think it's gonna do, it does that. Okay. Now again, it doesn't show it in a film that makes you think that these people are psychotic. It doesn't show in the film where it's very graphic by any means. It just you see an action happening and you see the people's reaction to it, and it's hilarious. Okay. So overall, Cash Nation, tell me, do you favor, comment below your thoughts on Lisa Frankenstein. Have you seen it? What'd you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And you're gonna watch this with your significant other on Valentine's Day. Why or why not? This is stuff that you take a friend with. Now, I would not take this with little kids. Make sure I say that right now. This is teenagers, yes, and adults, absolutely, but little kids, no. Because even though not showing what's happening specifically, it's gonna just lead to ask more questions, or you're gonna have to basically explain to them what's going on. Okay. Thank you for watching as always. Be safe, stay friendly. Comment below your favorite part of this film. Peace out.